Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and today is the day. Finally, I've been waiting to do this because I knew the day was gonna come where I can make this easily, all in one pot to sheer perfection. And guys, I'm talking about a whole roasted or rotisserie chicken, whatever you want to call it. Technically, it's not a rotisserie chicken, it's not, you know, spitting around on the spit, but it's gonna be magnificent, juicy, tender, all those amazing adjectives to describe a chicken. Guys, the reason why I wanted to wait to do this is because I wanted to make it all literally in one pot, like I said, so the chicken will be pressure cooked and then finished off with a wonderful skin crisp right in the Instant Pot. All because I'm going to be using two lids. The classic lid to pressure cook and the new air crisping lid by Instant Pot to broil, bake, air fry, whatever, so the skin gets a little bit crispy at the end. Now, if you have a Duo Crisp plus air fryer model, you're already set, you got it. But if you were to just have a regular 6-quart Instant Pot, right now the air fryer lid only fits 6-quart Instant Pots. That might change in the future. This will sit on basically any 6-quart model. Just, you know, do your research ahead of time and make sure it does. But I'm gonna be using my Duo Plus, my 6-quart, and this is gonna be perfect. So guys, just wait and see. The best of both worlds. A super juicy chicken by pressure cooking, followed by a little bit of a crisp at the end. All thanks to the amazing Instant Pot. And Instant brands, really, and their amazing products. And I gotta tell you, these are all my opinions. I have no tie with them. At this time of this video, I have no ties. It's simply my love of this amazing product and how it's going to make truly one of the greatest roasted chickens ever. Let's go. First, we're gonna start out with a carrot. This is literally the largest carrot I've ever seen. This takes "What's up, Doc?" to a whole new meaning. But I'll tell you this much, you don't need a carrot this, well, long and thick. You can use one that is about, you know, really half this size. That's fine. I'm just gonna use half this carrot because really this is like on steroids. I mean, Bam Bam from the Flintstones, if he lost his club, watch out, Bam Bam. All right, I gotta stop focusing on this. We're gonna take this, we're gonna peel it, and we're gonna dice it up. Just half this because this is an enormous carrot, like Costco size. Just use our typical large carrot. So the carrot looks just like this, nice and diced and cut. I want to take 2 ribs from a stalk of celery. I call each strand of celery a rib because ribs comprise a stalk. Sometimes I refer to each of these as a stalk in my recipes, but I mean a rib. So just make sure you get 2 ribs from a stalk of celery. And we are going to slice these up so that it looks just like this. I basically just lay a rib of celery on a cutting board and go bop, 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 and then it just chops up like this. Like a little half-moon crescents. Nice. Moving on. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to take a whole chicken, because obviously we're making a roasted chicken, we need a whole chicken. This guy over here is about 5 pounds, it's 4.93 pounds. You could really use any size chicken you want. You can use something as small as a 3-pound. You can go up to like a 6-pound if you want. I feel like between 4 to 5 pounds is pretty much the average whole chicken size, so we're gonna go with this. And I'll tell you about the cook times based on the pound when we get there. But in the meantime, what I wanna do is I wanna take this chicken out of this packaging, and then I'm gonna rinse it nice and good and put it right back on the cutting board. Okay, so let's get a cutting board and then put our trivet that comes with our Instant Pot on top of the board. This is going to make for a much easier transportation in the long run later. What I want to do now is take my beautifully rinsed chicken, and right now this is breast side up, by the way. That's the way we're going to want to cook it. But I want to flip it upside down first, just like this. The way you know that it's the wrong way is if you see the little legs like this, like it's crouching down or something like this. Oh my gosh, that looks so kind of creepy. It's like gonna fly away, my chicken. Okay, this is the upside down portion. We're gonna cook it the other way, but we're gonna start over here. And let's begin just by patting down our entire chicken, making sure that it's nice and dried from when we rinsed it. Perfect. Okay, and now this part is where we get a little bit personal with the chicken. A little Dr. Pole, if you will. We want to reach inside this chicken's cavity or tushy or whatever and pull out any bag that came with it. These are the giblets, the giblets, however you want to pronounce it, which are basically like, you know, the neck, the heart, gizzards, things like that, okay? I'm not using it. You can use it if you want for the gravy to put in there, but not my thing. I'm actually going to leave these out and just discard them. And sometimes you get a neck in there. It all varies on the kind of chicken that you got. Oh, look, there's a liver. I actually love chopped liver, and you can make my amazing chopped liver with this, but we're not making chopped liver today. By the way, when you touch a chicken in general, always wash your hands afterwards, or you can wear gloves. I'm not wearing gloves, but I do make sure I wash my hands anytime I handle raw chicken. You don't want salmonella spreading everywhere. Alright, now let's get a microwave-safe bowl and add in 3/4 of a stick or 6 tablespoons of salted butter. And now what I want to do is I want to microwave it until it's good and melted. And that should only take 45 seconds in the microwave. Now I want to season my butter up with a few spices. 1/2 teaspoon each of lemon pepper seasoning, dried or rubbed sage, same thing, dried thyme, and paprika. Again, 1/2 teaspoon of each. Dump that into the butter. And then just blend it up with a fork. Oh, and I also meant to add in 2 teaspoons of crushed or minced garlic. Let's give it one more mix up here. Now what I want to do is I want to take a smaller little bowl because I want to reserve some of this amazing garlic butter marinade for after we pressure cook. This is for a final step. So what I want to do is pour in about 1/3 of the mixture into this and leave the rest in here. It's like this, like that. So I made a little bit of a mess. That's what, you know, paper towels and napkins are for. So we have about 2/3 of our marinade right over here, which we're going to base onto our chicken before we pressure cook, and then about 1/3 here for the final stages when we crisp it briefly. Okay, perfect. It looks like 2 eyeballs, kind of like it's like almost one is big and one small. Googly-eyed. Let's move on. All right, and now I want to take my beautiful butter sauce here, and I want to brush it all over my chicken. And we want to do this on both sides, not just the side that's going to be facing up, with both sides. Get it really nice and good on your chicken. Perfect. Make sure you get under its armpits. Just lightly brush this side. This is going to be, again, the bottom side that we're going to flip upside down when we cook, and it's more important that the top gets more marinated than the bottom. That can be debatable by some. All right, now I'm going to flip this over. Perfect. Whoops. Keep our trivet here. Okay, and now because this is our chicken breast, which we want to be face up when we cook, I want to pay a little bit more attention to this. And I really want to make sure my butter marinade seeps into the chicken itself, the meat, instead of just the skin. So some people like to lift this up and massage it under with a spoon and all that. I'm not going to do that. It's too much mess and I just don't feel like doing it. So what I like to do is take a little knife like this, a little paring knife, and just, you know, act all Norman Bates on it. Just cut some slits underneath the skin, just like this. Just get it throughout. Like little things like this, you know, be careful. Try to keep the skin intact because it looks pretty afterwards. And now let's take the rest of our marinade here and just brush it on generously. And the reason why I separated the other marinade, that other 1/3 of a cup, from this is because we don't want to cross-contaminate anything. That other marinade is untouched from any raw chicken and any basting brush. We're either going to rinse this one off or you can use a second basting brush for the final steps when we go into that reserved butter marinade. And we're really not leaving any portion of this beautiful chicken spared. Just gonna dump this on top. And perfect. Okay, now let's go to our Instant Pot. Alright, into my Instant Pot I'm gonna add in 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth because, you know, chicken broth, we're making chicken. And I know that might not feel like a lot of broth, but believe me guys, it is. The skin from the chicken when it pressure cooks itself is gonna create so much extra liquid, which is going to actually make for an amazing gravy afterwards. But you'll see what I mean, just trust me. 3/4 of a cup is fine. If you're using an 8-quart, this is a 6-quart, go up to about a cup to a cup and a quarter. I also now wanna add in my celery and my carrots. And then just smooth them out, just like this. That's perfect. And now let's take our turkey that's already resting on our trivet and lowered into the pot. And look at that, guys, the perfect fit. A 5-pound chicken. Did I say turkey before? I meant chicken. A 5-pound chicken fits perfectly inside of a 6-quart Instant Pot. Now I want to secure my lid, make sure that it's in the sealing position. So now we're going to come down to our control panel and hit the pressure cook or the manual button depending on your model. And the general rule of thumb here for cooking a chicken is about 6 minutes per pound. So since this is a 5-pound chicken, I want to go for 30 minutes. 6 times 5 is 30. And that's as simple as that. If it was a 3-pound chicken, we'd go for 18 minutes. If it was a 4-pound chicken, we'd go for 24 minutes. You get the gist, all right? And now that we're done pressure cooking, we're gonna allow a 10-minute natural release. That means we do absolutely nothing for 10 minutes until this reads, well, 10. Then we'll finish it off with a quick release. And surprise, I was actually able to get a haircut during the time that the Instant Pot was cooking that chicken. What do you know? Amazing. And now that 10 minutes of a natural release have passed, because again, this reads 10. That's how you know it's been 10 minutes. Let's finish this off with a quick release. And the pin just dropped, so let's take our lid off. And there's our chicken. Now, it's okay if it splits a little bit over here. It's because it's so insanely tender. Don't worry about that, all right? But what I want to do now is I want to give it a final brush because, guys, we're going to give this a little bit of color. And the final brush is going to be the remaining butter, which is pretty much solidified at this point, but that's okay. I'm just going to pop it in the microwave again and get it nice and liquidy. And there we have it, guys, nice and melted. Okay, so now we have 3 options here. Regardless of what you do, I do suggest using the additional butter marinade and giving it a final lovely little glaze. Don't necessarily brush it, but just dab it on nicely all throughout the chicken. It's gonna be perfect for that beautiful color. And so to give it some really delicious flavor. Alright, and we're looking wonderful. And now your 3 options are either to just take it out of the pot right now and eat it as is. You can transfer the chicken onto a foil-lined baking sheet and pop it in the oven for about 5 minutes under broil to give it a crispy skin. Or, to achieve that same effect, as I mentioned earlier, you can use the brand new Instant Pot air fryer lid. And watch how easy this is to use, guys. It's amazing. I'm simply going to rest it on top of the pot. You hear that noise? It's the same noise as if you were putting the lid on and off when you were pressure cooking. When it makes that sound, it means it's secure and it's good to go. It just comes right up, and then it comes right back. When it comes up, it makes that other sound. But when you put it down, perfect. For now, I just want to simply hit the broil button because it's going to put it on the highest temperature. It goes up to 400 degrees total, and I'm going to put it for 5 minutes. That's it. And I'm going to check on it and just see how it goes. And if it needs more, it needs more. But it's going to give it a little bit of a nice crisp to the skin. I'm going to hit start. And it's simple as that. Do you hear it starting to go? Oh boy. And you'll see once we get down to the 1 minute mark, it begins to count down in seconds. And then once you see the cool appear on the screen, just hit the cancel button because we're all set. Now let's take our lid off and make sure we have this little mat that it comes with to rest it on because it's going to be very hot, so of course don't touch the bottom. And there's the chicken. And place our lid to rest over here. And now I'm going to take the handles of the trivet here and then very carefully transfer my beautiful chicken to a serving dish. Alright, just like so. And then I'm going to remove the trivet from under the chicken very carefully as well. And there we go, our beautiful chicken looking gorgeous. The wings so insanely tender, they're basically falling off. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're gonna be like bone, suck off the bone tender. All right, guys, now we're gonna focus on turning our amazing drippings in the pot here into the most amazing, lush gravy. What I wanna do first is make a cornstarch slurry. I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, mix that with 2 tablespoons of water, so they're equal parts. And I'm going to stir that up so it goes from a thick cement-like consistency to a nice smooth one. Now we'll hit the cancel or the keep warm / cancel button if it's on the same button. And now I want to hit saute. And I want to make sure that I'm on the more or the high setting. This is going to bring all of our drippings to a simmer. And once the drippings begin to bubble, that's our cue to stir in our cornstarch slurry immediately because it's going to thicken everything into a gravy-like consistency. Alright, you see that it went from like a thin liquid to a nice thick gravy-like consistency. Not too thick, but the perfect amount. Alright, we'll kill the heat. You do that by hitting the cancel or the keep warm / cancel button until the screen reads off. Okay, now I want to add in a tablespoon of heavy cream or milk, as well as 2 additional teaspoons of lemon pepper seasoning and another teaspoon of dry to rub sage. And then stir that up in the pot. And guys, lo and behold, the most amazing, delicious gravy ever. We really barely did anything to it except add just a few little things here. And now that is one perfectly beautiful gravy. Okay, let's put some into a gravy boat. And I love how the carrots and the celery like basically so soft at this point, and they go right into this beautiful gravy. And it's gonna be perfect for the chicken. All right, now let's just adorn our chicken with this. All right, and I'm just going to pour my gravy around the sides of my chicken just to make it look nice and pretty. Why not? You'll still have plenty of gravy left inside of the pot, by the way. It makes a nice generous amount. Can you believe, by the way, how much liquid was in there when we took the lid off? I told you, 3/4 of a cup is all you need of broth. It makes so much more liquid. There's at least like more than double the amount now. Lovely. Love it! Alright guys, this chicken is now ready to cut into and serve. Or you can do as, you know, I would do and just kind of just rip into it. Who cares? If it's just you and like, you know, your significant other or you by yourself, who cares, right? But if you want to make it all nice, just slice it up. I don't have the patience and the time right now, so I'm just gonna dig into a drumstick. Let it cool though, it's very hot and very tender. And guys, look at this chicken. Just look at this chicken. This looks like something literally that was like, I don't know, it looks fancy. I mean, I'm not fancy, I'm not, but this looks fancy. Alright guys, what I'm gonna do right now is not gonna be fancy, because I'm gonna literally just like rip the drumstick off here. You're gonna see the leg, look at this, it's gonna come right off. It's that tender, it's that tender, look at that, oh. But of course, you can also carve it very, very casually. Alright, and I'm gonna give this a bite, guys. This meat, I mean, seriously, look at how juicy the meat is. I mean, it's like glistening with how beautiful and juicy it is. Here we go, can't wait to try this out. Now that's a chicken. Gobble, gobble, gobble. I'm just using my fingers at this point. Hang on, I want to dip it in some of the gravy. Some of the gravy on there. To die for. Delicious. Delicious. I'm not gonna call this a rotisserie chicken because it's not a rotisserie chicken. It's, you know, an Instant Pot chicken with a little bit of a finishing roast, if you will. Super moist. So tender, and with the gravy you're going to want to lap up with a spoon with some chicken on it. No judgments here, y'all. And guys, a beautiful 5-pound chicken is easily going to feed a family of 4 to 6, depending on how big your appetites are. I feel like I could probably split this actually with Richard, but I wouldn't. I'd probably eat a quarter of it. And I love the dark meat. I love the dark meat. I mean, the drumstick was a great test for how tender it was, but now let's try the breast meat. Again, don't be mad that I'm using my fingers. It's just me and Richard. It's fine. All right, here we go. Juicy, like Lucy Goosey. Banjo, you want a little bit of that? Yeah? Okay, typically I would tell you don't ever put your pets like in the kitchen while you're cooking, but I mean, look at him. Look at how cute he is. And this is specifically for Banjo, a little part of the breast. Here you go, baby. What do you think? You like it? If you like it, lick my nose. He loves it. He licked my nose. He loves it. Yeah! He's gonna get a little bit more. Guys, it's really, really great. Just, of course, always wash your hands after you handle your loving animals and raw chicken. Again, I'm gonna do that right now. And guys, the best part about this chicken dish is that it was all done in one pot. Pressure cooking for tenderness and air frying for crispiness. 2 lids, 2 wonderful miracles of cooking fused together in one pot. That's nothing to cry about, that's great. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, check out PressureLoveCooking.com because I have an array of recipes there with a video that goes with every single one. Go to Facebook.com/PressureLoveCooking and like that page. I have a cookbook coming out soon, and maybe you've already seen this video, or maybe you're watching this video after the cookbook came out. Check it out online. You can get a copy there at a great price. And of course, at Pressure Look on YouTube, subscribe to me there. I'm sure you're watching this video there. Hi, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Again, thank you so much again, guys. And know these words. If you've made some chicken and you gave it a bit of a roast, well then by all means, my friends, you've earned the right to boast. Enjoy. All right, Banjo, we want some more? Is that what it is? You want some more? All right.